Your muscles are amazing. I often say muscles equal health. Now that doesn't mean that you have to be massively muscular, obviously I'm not, but the more you actually keep your muscles toned, active, and kind of growing a little bit, or at least repairing themselves fairly effectively, the healthier you're going to be. It's an interesting fact that a few years ago, a specialized clinician was asked at a conference, what could you guarantee that people could do that would improve their health? And this person was just retiring. They had, a huge career behind them. And they said, when you look at anything, around supplements, pharmaceuticals, diets, other things like that, he says, you can basically prove that any of these things work. And you can also prove, given, lab rats and statistics, that any of them don't. But he says there's 3 things that you can do that he says will guarantee that you can have better health. 1 is get enough sleep. 2, eat lots of vegetables. And 3 is keep your lean muscle mass high. Now, lean muscle mass basically means the proportion of muscle tissue compared to adipose tissue. So I'm going to talk to you about a few different things that your muscles do. But just in general, think of your muscles, in your body the same way you think of an internal organ. You think of your liver, kind of what it does, why it's really essential. Your kidneys, you don't have them, you're in trouble. Obviously, your lungs, your heart, and everything else. You may or may not know that your skin is an organ, and it has a whole bunch of jobs that actually make sure you stay healthy as well. Now, if you think of your muscles in the sense of volume, the number of cells that they have compared to your liver, your heart, your lungs, your muscles are actually the biggest tissue organ in your body next to your skin. And depending, I guess, on how muscular you are, they may even be more muscles than your skin. Now, your muscles do a lot of things besides move you around. They regulate your blood sugar. They regulate your stress hormones, and they regulate basically things around growth factors and metabolic rate. And your metabolic rate determines how much energy you have, but also determines how much you can eat before you actually end up getting a lot of fat. So I'm going to go into some details just about how you can take care of your muscles as an engine or as an internal organ to make sure you're getting the best benefit from that system in your body. And yes, that means you're going to have to pick things up, put it down in the sense of resistance training, as well as some cardio. And I'll get into why I think a bit more resistance training versus cardio is going to be the ideal thing to do. So here we go. Okay, so here are a few things that you can do to ensure that your muscles as an organ system, or as what I think of as an engine, are going to give you the best results in the long term. Now, the first thing you want to do is make sure you're increasing the mitochondria inside of your muscles. And mitochondria are like little spark plugs. And the only way you can improve the number of mitochondria in your muscles is to exercise them. And exercise is kind of a technical term, which means you're making your muscles do something they have never done before. And that could be, doing the, a bicep curl with 5 pounds more weight than you're usually going to do, and then maybe over a few weeks more reps than you usually do. And then a few weeks later, you're going to probably have to add a bit more weight, just to keep that mitochondrial demand on your body. So a kind of metaphor for that is, if your muscles don't get a lot of exercise, you move around, you go for a walk, but you're not really doing anything new for your muscles. Your muscles, because of kind of an adaptive or evolutionary efficiency, will always try and have the least amount of mitochondria necessary, because if you think about it, for most of our evolution, we were kind of scavenging around and probably having lots of little starvation moments throughout the year. So our physiology is just determined to try and make sure that we have the least amount of metabolic need possible. In a way that's good, but nowadays it's not so good because we all eat way more than we need. So if you have a 4-cylinder car, and you're putting around and stuff like that, that basically represents the, average or minimal amount of mitochondria you need to function. You start to exercise, some resistance training, some cardio, you're going to have, kind of that V6 engine. You're going to need more cylinders, and each cylinder burns calories, requires energy. And this is especially true if you're concerned about weight loss or fat loss, because you can't really lose fat very quickly if you've only got 4 cylinders or mitochondria in every one of your muscle cells. Now, obviously, if you really want to go for it, you're going to want to have a big, huge V8. I know that's an environmentally bad metaphor, but, stick with me here. If you've got 8 cylinders or a lot more mitochondria in every muscle, and you're making sure that happens because you're in the gym, or on the track, let's say in the gym 3 times a week and going for a run, maybe 5 miles once a week. you're going to be having that nice 8-cylinder engine in every one of your cells and every one of the muscles you exercise, and every one of those cylinders requires energy to stay alive, which means now your metabolism on a certain level, and this isn't a direct association, but relatively your metabolism doubles the energy needs for your muscles. Now that would be a great thing, because now you can eat pretty much anything you want, and you're going to maintain the lean body mass that you want, and less fat around your middle, because that would be a good idea. So that's step one. Start working with what I would call resistance training to build your mitochondria. Step two, I'll just check that off because you're going to do that, right? Good. Step two is to try and work on your fast twitch muscles, or pardon me, fast twitch nerve fibers. Now the fast twitch fibers, they require a certain kind of intensity. So instead of just moving gradually with your weights or whatever, you're going to have to move really, really fast, right? Because of the fast twitch. Now if you look at the cross section of the fibers, the slow twitch fibers would be about as big around, or the cross section of my finger, relative to the fast twitch, which would be the cross section of my wrist. So if you're a person who would like to see some muscle tone and definition on your body, and why not? It's kind of nice to have. You have to work on the fast twitch fibers. So we're going to check that. And this is going to be done primarily through what people call nowadays high intensity interval training, doing more sprints than jogs and stuff like that. And it's really, really good for your brain too, and I'll get into that in another video. Now slow twitch fibers, again, they have a smaller cross section, so they don't get as big in the sense of muscle size and definition and stuff. But the thing that's really good about slow twitch fibers is if you keep using them, regularly, they like to burn triglycerides. And the triglycerides are this sort of intermediate molecule between, blood sugar, your food, and calories, and actually producing adipose tissue or fat on your body. So by keeping your slow twitch muscles active, and again, 5K, 5-mile jog or run once a week, you're going to keep those fibers active and growing. So check, because that would be a really good idea, and I hope you do that too, because you're optimizing your muscle organ system around regulating the rest of your metabolism. And keep in mind that when you're doing regular exercise, again 3 times a week in the gym, at least once a week out on the track, running if you can, that whole metabolic system is just going to keep going, and after exercise you're going to have a higher metabolic burn for about 30 to 40 hours after every workout. It's interesting that, if you went online right now and Googled calories burned chopping wood, which is actually pretty high, calories burned lifting weights, which isn't that much, calories burned running, which is, a bit, but not a lot. The amount of calories you burn while you're exercising is actually not so important. What's more important is that if you exercise properly and check off your list, you're going to burn calories probably almost towards to the point at which you have your next workout. And that's what makes healthy people so fit and happy, because they're just consistent about their exercise. Now one more thing that is actually really, really fascinating and really important today, because right now, diabetes, it's epidemic. The statistics are terrifying, especially with respect to our children. So if you're exercising consistently, as I've described, your muscles are going to start producing what's called a GLUT4 or glucose transport 4 vesicle. And this is a way where your muscles can actually kind of interact with your blood supply and get a hold of glucose without actually needing insulin specifically to put it into the cell. Now you need to have insulin in your blood for all of this to work, but you don't need as much insulin to get the glucose out of your blood supply into the muscles to burn as energy. So that's an amazing opportunity, and it's really, really fun, and it's nice to have those kind of geek out little fun things to share at parties or whatever. But be consistent, be committed, stick with your program. You have to keep adding a little bit every about 3 weeks to keep that component of exercise happening. But if you can get all of these things going and get these amazing things happening in your muscles, you're going to be in the best shape of your life. And that's my goal with pretty much everyone that I work with. It's one thing to say I'm really sick and I want to be less sick, and that's, as a doctor, that's my job. But what I really want for people to do, what I really want for you, is to basically just go out there and find whatever system, exercise program, if you need a coach, you need a trainer, whatever you need, just to get in the commitment towards the best shape of your life. Because anything else, it's kind of passive. And that's the problem, I think, with our healthcare system today. It's too passive. So I hope this helps you. I hope it's giving you the information to inspire you to, get out there, Get away from your computer. Go do something fun. Go type. Anyway, so again, my name is Michael Smith. Please share and like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you feel like you need more personal help, especially if you have any kind of chronic or autoimmune condition, contact me through the link on my website. And I work with people all over the world, so get a hold of me and I'll help you if I can. Have a great day. And again, get away from your computer. Go outside. Breathe in some fresh air. It's good for you.